So hello everyone, welcome to Sunday Brunch. It is the 15th of November, so we're halfway through November. We're way over halfway through the self-development Sunday Brunch now. This week's topic is on joy and happiness, so we're going to talk a little bit about that. We started the call by everyone sharing what their wins of the week have been. We've had some business related, we've had a lot of people they've been feeling a bit disconnected the last few months and a bit out of alignment, and they're just getting back out of that slump. Some people having breakthroughs in their personal life as well. Paige felt more refreshed, less stressed, made me feel a lot better. Yeah, amazing. And that was just from not having a phone an hour before bed and an hour after I woke up, which is amazing. I'm going to try the phone pattern. Yay, 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 yay. Okay, so I'm going to talk a little bit about joy and happiness. Now, obviously, in the current situation, what I would have done with this training is slightly different to what I would have done in this current situation. So I've adapted it a little bit. And get your pens and paper, your self-development notebook and a pen. Please do put your camera on as well, because I say it every single week, but I thrive off of your energy. So let's have some more energy on this call. Let's help each other. And that's just from being present and showing your face. And I don't care if you've got hair up in a mum bun, don't care if you're cleaning the house. It is a Sunday, so I know a lot of you are busy, especially if you've got kids and all of that. And you work during the week, you're probably multitasking. Okay, we've got some more cameras on, amazing. If any of you can also put your camera on, that would be great. Ideally, I want a whole screen of cameras, if that is possible. So get your notebook and your pen, and the first thing we're going to do is just a couple of little exercises. So I'm just going to read out a few sentences about joy. So in the pursuit of health, many people leave joy out of the question. However, it's an integral part of wellness, and it's not a luxury. So how many of you, and this is a rhetorical question, you can answer it yourself or share in the chat bar, but how many of you don't prioritize your own happiness? Whether you put work before your happiness, whether you put your family, your friends, your job, like everything, whether you put that before your own happiness. Okay, me. Wow, I'm surprised. Okay, actually I'm not surprised, because I know that a lot of people don't do this. So I do hope that you get value out of this call. So joy isn't simply the absence of sadness, pain, or suffering. It's a deep experience of inward peace and intense momentary happiness that arises when something in your life aligns with your core values. So 2 years ago, before I started with Juice Plus, I had a bit of a breakthrough moment where I realized I was sat on the bathroom floor. I can't remember what I was doing. I think I was just feeling sorry for myself. I was scrolling through my phone, and I had this bit of a breakthrough where I went, I don't remember the last time I laughed. Like really, really laughed. Not just like a, that's funny, like a belly laugh. Like I'm so, like I've got this joy inside of me, and I couldn't remember the last time. And that for me was a big breakthrough, because it was sad. And I thought, what am I doing with my life? Like I'm waking up every day, I'm doing stuff, but I was like, I can't remember actually laughing, like truly laughing. And that was when I realized that I had to make a change. And now it is still something I struggle with, don't get me wrong. It's very easy to get wrapped up with life and not be present and find joy, but I have practiced a few things, and I hope maybe that resonates with some of you. Maybe you're thinking right now, God, I don't remember the last time I proper belly laughed. And it is sad, but the main thing is acknowledging that's the case, because when we acknowledge it, we can do something about it, right? So joy isn't hard to find. In fact, it's all around you if you open yourself up to it. Small moments of joy can spark great changes, and joy can show up when you least expect it. By taking conscious action to bring more joy into your life, you'll reap all the benefits that this area has to offer. Okay, so I want you now to write down the last time you experienced true full-bodied joy. So write that down in your notebook. But think about the last time you experienced it, and what were you doing when you experienced it? So I'll read that one more time just in case you missed it. So think about the last time you experienced true full body joy, and what were you doing when you were experiencing it? Okay, I'll give you a couple more minutes just to write that down. Okay, so now the next question is, what else brings on that feeling of joy? So the next question and the next thing to write down is, what else brings on that feeling of joy? So try not to overthink it, just write down whatever comes to mind. It's going to be personal to you. And sometimes we have to get out of our own way to connect with what really does bring us joy. So just write it down. Maybe for some of you it's dancing, walking, taking a bath, hanging out with friends, watching a funny film, watching a comedian, like what truly brings you joy, not just something that you do to fill time or something that you feel like you do because you've been doing it for so long and it's part of your routine, but something that truly brings you so much joy and happiness. So write that down. And then once you've written it down for yourself, let's have some of these in the comments. So what brings you joy? And maybe if you realize anything when you were writing down those responses, then like you realize you haven't probably laughed in like a year or 2 years. For some of you, it might even be longer. It might be 5 years, 10 years. You just get so caught up in life. So share any little breakthroughs that you had, and share also what makes you feel that joy, that deep within feeling. Angel, my little boy's happiness, that's lovely. Shona, music, romance, completing personal projects. Love that. Holly, what brings me joy is being or talking with my friends and my cats. Love it. Sophie, dancing in a studio, not my bedroom yet. Me too, Sophie. Kayla, music, my mom and dad. Can't actually pinpoint when I have full joy. I know so many of us have that. We experience that where we can't pinpoint it. Jazzy, last 2 joys were FaceTime with my little kitty, and also the time me and my mum hugged. We made it last over a minute. Oh, that's so lovely. It's things like that this year are so special. Like, I think if 2020 has taught us anything, it's gratitude. Paige, music, watching my son thrive at school. Zoe, defo training with my friends. We work hard but have so much fun. Missing trampolining so much. Yeah, I love these. I love these. So you can see from the comments there, it can be a hobby, or it can be a thing, or it might even be something really specific to you that no one else would understand. It might even be just going to a park, having some headphones in and just sitting and watching the world go by. It might be something as simple as that. So the next question is for you to write down. What action step can you take this week to create more opportunities for joy on a daily basis? So what action step can you take this week to create more opportunities for joy on a daily basis? And start small. You know, it's so easy to go, right, I'm going to go on a 1-hour hike every day, and I'm going to go explore nature, and I'm going to go to all of these new places. But you've really got to think, is that realistic around your lifestyle? So start really small. Just write down one simple action step that you can take this week. And you might want to add to this after the training as well, but just something right now that instantly comes to mind. And we got some more come through here. So Jackie, afternoons with my baby group last year. Miss not going to them and Zim this year, dancing, yeah. Charlotte, I'm past snorkeling now, rugby training. Jazzy, be more organised so I have time to relax and appreciate things. Jackie, dance in my lounge every morning with volume at 30, I love it. Holly, switch my phone off for an hour a day. So the question page is, what action step can you take this week to create more opportunities for joy on a daily basis? So if you want to write that in short, you might just want to write like opportunities for joy this week. Okay. Danielle, I've been walking into work every day and I'm going to keep doing that because it starts my day off so well. Yes, I love it. I love it, love it. Do you know what? When I used to work in the office, I used to park 20 minutes away and walk in, mainly because I wasn't parking at the office. But as I was doing it, I was thinking, even if there was parking at the office, I'd still park 20 minutes away and walk in because it's that fresh air, it's that movement before you get to the desk and you sit down. And it's something, since I've been working from home, it's definitely harder, but it's creating that structure. And maybe the one thing you're going to do this week is just something really small like that. Just go for a morning walk to have some more structure. Okay, great. So I'm going to give you some little like topic points. I don't know what you want to call them, but little points to think about that might help you expand these answers and have a clearer idea of things you can start doing this week. So obviously something we always talk about is practicing gratitude. So gratitude is connected with joy. How can you bring more gratitude into your own life? So here's some ideas. So starting off your morning with gratitude. So it's number one, start with gratitude. Every morning, write down 3 things you're looking forward to in the day ahead. Okay. Maybe if someone's a super speedy typer, you can write these down in the chat bar for anyone who doesn't manage to get the notes down. But I'm not going to repeat them too much because I want to make sure we get through everything on time. So number one was start with gratitude. Every morning, write down three things you're looking forward to in the day ahead. So I know some of you do this already, amazing, but it's something so important to do if you don't already do it. End with gratitude is number 2. So each night, write down 3 things that brought you joy or happiness during the day. So reflecting on your day, so powerful again. Number 3 is express gratitude. So reach out to someone really special in your life once a week or even once a day and express gratitude for that person. You can send them a text, you can write them an email, you can write them a letter, or you could pick up the phone. So that was number 3, is express gratitude. Number 4 is pay someone a gratitude visit. Now, obviously, it's a little bit more difficult to see people in real life at the moment, but what you can do is you can organize a video call or something like that just to catch up with someone and just to let them know how grateful you are for them. And think about someone who has done something important for you in the past. It may even just be as simple as dropping someone a message to say like, hey, you popped into my mind today. I just wanted to let you know I'm grateful for you. And something I've been practicing the last year or so is when someone pops into my mind, just totally random, I always think they popped into my mind for a reason, so I need to get in touch with them. Okay, so if you don't already practice that, I really, really would. And it's just weird the way things have worked out sometimes. Like I've been thinking of someone and I've dropped them a message and I found out something that I wouldn't have known if I didn't drop them a message, and then I'm so glad that I did. And there's lots of stories around this as well, which I won't go into too much detail at the moment. But there's some things you can do. And then the next thing, so treating yourself to self-care, so important again. And I'm going to give you some, am I going to give you some tips? Yeah, I'm going to give you some tips. Just again, write down the ones that really, really resonate with you and align with you, because you're not going to be able to write them all down. And if there is anyone, again, you're super speedy at typing, you can type in the chat bar so everyone else can make sure they get the notes. That's great. That's so amazing. But don't worry if you can't. So treating yourself to self-care. There's so many different areas that we can do this. So some examples when it comes to the physical body are getting high quality sleep, regular checkups, health checkups, having a healthy diet, regular exercise, massages, acupuncture, taking baths, having daily outdoor time. So again, we can't do all of those right now, but we definitely can do more than half of them. So taking care of your emotional and your mental state. You've got laughter, crying, hobbies, loving, free writing, reading, morning or evening routines, budgeting, traveling. So this is really strange, but when I was struggling with my finances, I really focused on budgeting, and I actually felt so good for it. I was tracking every penny that came into my account. I was giving myself allowances. So I gave myself, I had my chunks for my essentials, my bills, my rent, all of that, my food. And then I gave myself allowances for self-care, for new clothes, for travel savings, and it felt so good to be like, I've still got £60 to spend on self-care this month. What am I going to spend it on? Rather than get to the end of the month and be like, where's all my money gone? I can't afford anything. Like, budget that money for your self-care as you would for your rent and your bills, because that for me was a game changer. And I started to develop a better relationship with money, but I also started to create the importance of self-care in my life. So the next thing is spiritual beliefs. So you've got nature walks, you've got meditation and prayer, you've got religious practices, if that's for you, you've got yoga, forgiveness, gratitude, creating time to just be. That is so special, creating time to just be you. Like, no distractions, no places to be, not having necessarily things to do, but just being yourself and allowing time for that, like scheduling it into your planner. For some of you, that might just be morning time. That's the only time you can create that time. That's great. Start your morning with some silence, with time to just be yourself. Okay, next one is relationship to self. So having a daily journal, engaging the senses, cooking, having a vision board, positive self-talk, goal setting, time alone, celebrating your success, treating yourself to what's important to you. So again, that kind of comes from allowing that if it's finance that holds you back from creating self-care and joy and happiness, then creating that budget for yourself each month to be able to treat yourself to the things that you love. Like, maybe you want to spend a little bit more on on skincare products, and you want to have a nice skincare routine. That's an element of self-care, right? But sometimes we're like, I'll just go for the cheapest thing right now. But allow yourself that budget to go, do you know what? I am going to spend 20 quid on a moisturizer because I want to see what it feels like. I want to see how it feels to put that on my face. Maybe it's not even 20 quid. Some of the moisturizers go up like crazy, crazy amounts. Maybe you want to do it 1 month and you just go, that was part of my self-care budget. I'm going to spend it this month and we'll see how it makes me feel. It's all about experimenting. The next topic is relationship to others. So dating, joining a club, a group, a community, having time with friends, having time with your children, being in touch with your family, having conversations, getting involved in a worthy cause, and communicating your wants and needs. Again, so important to let people know like what your wants and needs are, and get crystal clear on what they are yourself, because if you don't know what they are, then you cannot attract it into your life, and no one else can support you with attracting it into your life if you don't even know what they are yourself. So I'd say that's number one priority. Like, I've been redoing my vision board, because I look at my vision board now and I go, kind of ticked it all off. Like, it doesn't drive me anymore. I don't know what I want in my life. I'm really happy with everything I have, but I know that if I want more and I want to go to the next level of me, I have to start dreaming bigger again. I have to start getting crystal clear on what do I want and what are my needs, and that's my motivation. And when you put it out there, other people around you will help you with bringing that in. The next topic is work. So setting boundaries, setting goals, supporting and acknowledging yourself and other people, taking time off when you need to, learning new skills, and self-advocating. When I was working for an employer, I was shocked at the amount of people that would get to the end of the year and be like, oh, I have to take my holiday days. And I'd be like, what? You're crazy? Like, you still have all these holiday days and you're thinking, I have to take them. And I'm like, no, you should schedule those days in, like really, really create that time to go, right, I'm taking holiday off. I'm going to do this, 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 and this on my holiday. Like, maybe it is just you're going to go for a walk and you're just going to be present. You're going to sort out cupboards or whatever. But really do take that time off, especially if you're a workaholic, because you'll just get to a point where you burn out. Trust me, I've been there before, and it's not nice. It is not nice. So you want to learn to rest, which I know you all know anyway. So just maybe write down a couple of things. I know I listed off loads then, but maybe just write down a couple of things that are really, really stuck in your mind, and write those down, because the ones that are stuck in your mind are the ones that you notice the most, and maybe applying those things or spending some more attention on those things will really, really help you improve this area. So just write down a couple of things. And once you've done that, let's just have some in the comments. So did anyone notice anything like from what we just spoke about? Anyone realize maybe I need to do this more, or maybe it was just a reminder, something you've known for a long time and you just needed to hear it again to go, I know it's a priority, I still know I need to do it. Jazzy, learn, schedule and rest. Yeah, it was something I really struggled with, but I color code everything in my planner, and time for self-care is actually its own color. Because I'm visual, I look at my planner, and if everything is like green, which is my work color, and orange is like Zoom calls and trainings and one-to-ones. So if everything is green and orange, I know I need to schedule in some pink, which is self-care, and then blue is exercise, I think. It changes sometimes depending on the situation, but that's quite a good, if you're a visual person, that's quite a good thing to do, because you can clearly see like, okay, I'm working too much. Katie, take more time to feel and create joy. Yeah. Zoe, budget to treat myself, self-care is needed. Yes, I love it, I love it. Shona, I need to update my vision board and book work holidays in. Yeah. Charlotte, budget as I stress about money. Yeah. Ellie, get more organized, create a schedule, and bunny and budget. Kayla, communicate what I need. Yeah. Oh, Antonia, is that you? I read out Ellie, but it's you. Yeah. Amazing. Honestly, budgeting for self-care it was a game changer for me. It really was. Like, I know some of you don't struggle with finances, but I also know that a lot of you do. And just it's not having that guilt feeling, right? I don't know if you've ever, I'm sure if you have kids, you feel this more, but if you've ever spent some money on yourself and you felt instantly guilty, like, oh, I shouldn't have spent that much money. But if you've created a budget, you'll be like, no, it's totally fine. It was in my budget. I was allowed to do it. I allowed myself to do it. Like, I'm really excited for it to arrive. And honestly, it's been so big for me doing that. Because I do always, what I realize, I really talk quickly about money, but this call isn't about money, but just I remembered this. So what I realized was, when I have something go wrong with my car, or something go wrong with my house, or I get a fine, I have to pay it, right? I have to pay those things. I find the money somehow or another. Maybe I have to borrow it. Maybe I have to work a few extra hours. Maybe I have to get a few extra customers and get a commission from extra customers, right? I find the money. But when it comes to buying some clothes for myself, buying some gym wear, buying a new pair of trainers, buying a new jumper because my favorite jumper's got a hole in, and replacing that, when it comes to those things, oh, by the way, also like getting your nails done, getting a massage, getting your hair cut, going for acupuncture, like having a deep clean, going to the hygienist, having a deep clean dental one. These things, when I go to spend that money, I think, oh, I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have spent that much. But when it's a bill, when someone else needs the money, it's fine. I have to pay it. I don't feel guilty about it. I might feel a bit like, oh, that's so annoying, I had to spend that much money, but I don't feel guilty. So why is it we feel guilty when it comes to ourselves? And the best way to overcome that is budgeting, in my opinion, because then you know you're allowed to do it. I felt bad buying these PJs, but I love them. Yeah. And there's a thing called joy-based spending. And joy-based spending is basically if something makes you happy when you click buy, or you hand your card over or whatever, if it's bringing you happiness, then that's okay. Like, that doesn't mean go out and be like, what's the word, like immature with your money and spend it all. Like, it doesn't mean that, but it just means if you see something and it's going to bring you happiness, then don't feel guilty about it. Because if your life was to end in a few months, like, would you feel happy with the way that your life has been the last few months? Or would you look back and go, all I did was stress about money, about taking care of other people, of how am I going to do this, how am I going to do that? Like, or would you look back and go, do you know what, I got everything done I needed to do and I feel really content and happy. I listened to an amazing podcast the other day. When you spend, say to yourself, there's more of where that come from. Yes, create an attitude of abundance. Yeah, love that. And again, I could tell so many stories about finance because it was a huge thing for me. I was in a lot of debt. I had a CCJ, which kind of wasn't my fault, but it was still a pain in the ass. If you ever had it, you totally know how stressful it is. Thankfully, I managed to get it removed. I've had bills in the past. I've got a whole pile because I kept them all because I knew one day that I would be telling these stories. I knew it. I had faith that I would come out the other end, but I really, really had panic attacks around money. Like I just wasn't in a good place. And I listened to loads of podcasts around this as well, and there was a time when I was walking back along the beach in Australia, and I just made a decision to never ever ever feel like that around money again. And it's a mindset. It is really a mindset, and this energy you're putting out. And if you think of money as energy, then that's really a game changer. Like there is so much money in the world, right? And if you think of it as energy, kind of like what Antonia says, when you spend, say to yourself, there's more of that where you came from, is powerful. Like just a couple of things. So with this business, I always think if I want to buy that and it's out of my budget, what work do I need to do to make that money? Like, for example, I'm thinking of hiring my own office space in the new year, and I'm like, okay, it's £200 extra a month. What does my business need to look like to have an extra £200 a month? Because I'm in control of that. The money's there. The money's there, it's floating around, it's energy, it's there, it's ready. What do I need to do to create that? So there's that. And there's also something that I listened to that was like, when you are giving money out to the universe, you're giving your money to someone, you've got to think that money then goes in, it goes around the economy and it comes back to you. So you've got to think about this. And I was like, that's so true. Like when you buy a coffee, you're giving that money to the business. That money then goes around, it floats in the economy and is going to come back to you. And that really helped me with things like giving money to charity, because I was like, I know it's going to come back to me at some point. And it's probably going to come back to me in more, it's going to come back to me as more than what I gave out. So if you really think of it as energy, like it's changing your mindset from scarcity to abundance, to know that there is so much out there, and it really is just money. Like it's crazy that I used to be so scared of it, and I know some of you probably are still scared of it now, when you think money is it's just a piece of paper. Not even that anymore. It's just, it's all electronic. Like the money comes in, it goes out, like you can do it all on your phone. You send money to someone else through your phone, you don't even see the physical thing. And why are we so scared of something that is just energy? Does that make sense? Like, I know this call isn't about money, so I will stop talking about it, but it's something I'm so passionate about. And if you can get control of your finances and you improve this mindset around money, it does link directly to joy, because you'll find you start spending more money on self-care and these things that we maybe don't prioritize as much. Okay, cool. So I have a few other things to read out quickly before we have a break and do a little bit of a power hour. So it's actually no surprise that I think this study was done in America. I don't know how they did it, but this was released in April this year. And it said that Americans have been the unhappiest they've been in 50 years. And that was according to the COVID response tracking study. Now, I don't know too much about that study. I just found this. I thought it was interesting. And only 14 people, this is in America, by the way, and only 14 people of respondents said that they were very happy. Only 14% said that they were very happy. And that was in April. And that was just the very, very, very start of COVID, right? So if you are feeling a bit down right now and people around you are feeling a bit down, it's okay. Like it's normal. Everyone's experiencing it. But saying that, there are some things that we can do COVID specific to improve our happiness. So some of them are similar to what I said earlier. Some of them are slightly different. So again, just write down any that really align and resonate with you. So number one is doubling up on physical self-care, especially exercise. So really making it a priority. Your physical experience will always influence your emotional experience. So you may even want to just create a little yoga place in your house, in your apartment, a little corner, like something I'm really trying to create in this apartment, but it's quite small, is just a little space where I've got a yoga mat, a candle, maybe some plants, and like I just have a little space for meditation, for stretching. So maybe that's something that resonates with you and you want to create that. Maybe you want to go for more runs, maybe you want to find a personal trainer, because PTs can still train outside, by the way, so you can still do that if you're struggling with motivation. Okay, number 2 is meditate. So you can foster inner joy by slowly meditating for even 5 minutes at a time. Meditation looks different to everyone. It might simply just be sat in silence for 5 minutes or so. You might have a guided meditation that you listen to. The key is don't overthink it. There's no right or wrong way to do meditation. It's just learning about silencing those thoughts that are going on inside your head. Number 3, improve the quality of your sleep. So a good night's sleep can be hard to come by when you're in self quarantine in a global pandemic, but rest is obviously essential for our physical and mental well-being. So this person recommended setting the alarm to go to bed, not just when you wake up in the morning. So having an alarm, I actually stopped doing this. I need to do it again more, but I would have an alarm at 9:30, and 9:30 would be my alarm to be like, okay, it's time to start shutting down now. It's time to start going, have some time for self-care. I know some of you have really, really big business goals and you're working right up in the evening. This doesn't apply to you. Like if that's what's working for you, that's totally fine. But for those of you that are here for the long run and you don't want to burn out and you want to have a good balance between this business and your life, you didn't join this business, by the way, to have less time and more stress. You joined it for the opposite. So remember that. If you've got to have fun building this business. So for me, most of the time what I do is at 9:30, I'll be like, okay, it's time to start finishing off my messages now. And then I'll go and do my self-care. So I'll do my skincare routine, have a shower, brush my teeth, all of that, and then read a self-development book in bed. But again, it's finding what works for you. I just thought it was really cool setting an alarm to go to bed, not just wake up in the morning. Number 4, connect with other people. We all do that anyway because of our community, so I don't need to talk too much about this. It's the people that aren't involved with our community that probably need to hear about the connection and being around others, but it's an important point nonetheless. Number 5, make your bed and declutter your space. So we generally feel more inner calm and happiness when our outer surroundings are free and are free of clutter. And our outer environment, by the way, is a reflection of what's going on in here. So if you're looking around and your house is a mess and you haven't made your bed and you've got a big pile of washing and the washing up's not done, it's cluttered up by the sink, like that's a reflection of what's going on inside you. So your head's probably a bit cluttered. Whereas if you tidy up, then that means you're going to feel a little bit more zen inside. So just always think about that. Sometimes it's a bit of a wake-up call to be like, oh my gosh, I didn't even realize what's going on inside. But you can notice from looking outside. Decluttering can be difficult as well, especially if you've got lots of people at home self-isolating in your household. It can be very difficult. But even just making your bed in the morning can instantly make you feel more happy and create that joy. Number 6, experience nature, even if that's just looking at a photo. So it's a bit harder for us to access nature right now. We can go for walks and things. The weather's a bit more less friendly. The weather's less friendly. We might not want to be out in it all the time, but I thought this was a really good point, is having photos of nature around, so you're still looking at nature, and having videos and things like that to kind of bring that into your home, and bringing in, plants, and you can get really creative. If you have, you can create a little water feature. Like I, for example, have this diffuser, which Regina Spence actually bought me a while back, which is lovely. And it's a diffuser, obviously, but it's steam, it's got water, so it's kind of like bringing that aspect of nature to my desk, and that's why I love it so much. Because I can't, have a waterfall or something like that, but that's just a little element there, and then I've got my plants as well. So that was point 6. Number 7 is say thank you. So rather than noticing what you don't have, pause to give gratitude for what you do have. So if you're unable to take your regular classes, your fitness classes, your yoga classes, then be grateful for the opportunity that you can try stuff online. This is something I'm still struggling with because I love the gym, I love the physical aspect of it, but I am practicing gratitude of, these other opportunities that I wouldn't normally have, of working out in the comfort of my home, and things like that. Also saying things like, being grateful for the fact that someone might bring you a cup of tea when you're working. Being at home, someone might make you dinner, or someone, for example, I'm doing this Sunday brunch for you right now. Like, that's something to be grateful for, because it's like, well, I wouldn't have that otherwise. That's just an example, by the way. There's so many things every single day that we can practice gratitude for. So just really focus on those things, like, okay, and this opportunity, I'm so grateful for this opportunity. I'm so grateful for these products. I have never been more grateful for the Juice Plus products than I am this year in 2020, because every time I go outside, I think, thank the Lord I have a strong immune system, because I never used to, and I would be stressing so much. Like, I get a bit of paranoia whenever I get ill, which is very rare now with Juice Plus. But if I get, like, even when I get a cut, like if I get a cut on my skin and it starts to look a bit red and a bit discolored, I'm like, oh my God, I've got sepsis. Like, I need to go to the doctor straight away. Like, I just panic. I really, really panic. So if I started to get symptoms of a cold or flu, then I would be like, I've got COVID, oh my God. And that fear we create inside ourselves, this isn't just a joke, by the way. Like, I'm sharing this because that fear we create inside ourselves actually is linked to our body, and can actually create more illness from that state of being in fear. And think of the people you love and care about right now. Like, I have so many people in my family that are ill, but they've worked themselves up into such a state because they're so stressed about giving someone else in their family COVID, that they've made themselves more sick because of that anxiety. So just really, really, practice gratitude for the fact that we have our products. We're able to not only serve other people, but serve ourselves. And all of my family are on the products. Like, my auntie's actually quite ill at the moment, and I'm seriously considering I spoke to her about the products before, but I'm seriously just considering sending her a pack of the premium capsules, like a subscription to them, and just saying, just take them, because I know she's really struggling to recover from illness. So we have that is something huge to be grateful for, but there's so many other things as well. And that was it on my tips of things that you can do kind of during the virus. I don't know if anyone else has anything they want to share that maybe I haven't covered. But what I want you to think about is, first of all, if you're feeling a bit down and you're not feeling as happy or as joyful as you know that you truly can be capable of, then don't punish yourself is number one. Like, don't feel guilty about it, because there's so much going on that's out of our control at the moment, and it's okay to feel a bit like that. But the key is acknowledging that, and acknowledging what you need to do to keep your joy and your happiness first above everything else, because it's so easy to put other people before us, so easy to put a job before us, it's so easy to put everything before our health and our well-being, and that's linked directly to our happiness. So you just really need to get a clear idea on what makes you happy, and do more of those things. It's simple when you think about it, isn't it? Right? It's like, what makes me happy and how can I do it more? And if you're not having fun, then you're not doing it right. And you can apply that saying to everything in your life. And I'll repeat it again, but the key is with this business, like, you didn't join for this to be stressful. You didn't join for this to be a lot of pressure. You didn't join for this to take up all hours of your day. You didn't join for this for to not be able to spend as much time with your family. You joined for the opposite. So really ask yourself, there's two ways of building this business. You can go all in, you can make those sacrifices, you can say to your family, I'm not going to be as present with you whilst I build this business, but it's short term. Because if you make those sacrifices in 1 year, 2 years, your time will have freed up. Okay. But for some of you, that's not possible because maybe your family's not as supportive. Maybe you physically can't commit that amount of time because you're still trying to balance, another job or this or that or these other commitments. So think of a way you can build this business around that whilst having fun. I don't mind how long it takes me to get to NMD, to PMD. Because I used to be, when I started this business, I used to be like, I want to do it as quickly as possible. I want to get to the top quickly as possible. I want to do this. I want to do that. I want everyone to know how quickly I did it. I want my story to inspire others. I'm all in. And I just burnt out all of the time because I was so obsessed with it. And I got to a point where I was like, do you know what? Family is important as well. My friendships are important as well. My health, my well-being, like making sure I eat well, that's so important. If I have to take an hour away from my business to cook some nice food, obviously I'm going to take a picture of it and post it. But if I have to do that and cook some nice food and sit down at a table that is not my desk to eat my food without my phone. I know it sounds really crazy and Josh doesn't really understand this, but sometimes I'll eat my table just looking out the window. Not eat my table, eat my food at the table looking out the window. God, he'd definitely think I was strange if I was eating my table. But eat my food sat at the table looking out of the window. Because that for me is how I have fun doing my business. Because then when I come back and I sit here in my little corner, my business corner, I'm like, I'm ready to go right now. I turn off all the notifications on my phone because when I'm on my phone, when I'm on social media, that's when I'm present. That's when I have no distractions. I'm replying to messages. I'm doing my reach outs. Josh, I'll talk to you when I'm done, but right now I'm doing my lukewarms and my reach outs. And then when I've done that, then again, I can have some time with Josh. I can do whatever he wants to do. I can play with Luna and my notifications aren't popping up and taking over my life. So again, it's totally up to you how you build your business. I know some of you have really, really big goals and you want to just go all in, and that also is okay, but only if that makes you happy. Because for a lot of us, that doesn't make us happy. So anyway, I'm going to stop talking about that, but it's just little things for you to think about. Like, how can you live your life in a way that every single day, like, it's fun? You have so much fun doing life because you've created it, you've designed it. You have commitments, but you found a way to do those commitments in a way that is fun for you and doesn't cause extra pressure. That was one more thing. I've said it before, I'll say it again. I removed the word stress from my life and replaced it with pressure, because stress to me is something that is happening to me and I can't control it. And stress is like an emotion. That's why I think it's like a psychological thing, and I can't really find the words to explain it, but stress is something that is, what I'm feeling and I can't necessarily control. It's just like this horrible word. It's this horrible buildup. Whereas pressure, I visualize pressure as just something that's just kind of pushing down on me a little bit, but it's okay. I can handle it. Like I've got more control of pressure than I do of stress. I'm so stressed. I'm feeling the pressure. I'm so stressed. I'm feeling the pressure. Can you see the difference? So that was a big, big thing that changed for me. So I'm going to stop the recording. We're going to have a quick break, come back in 5 minutes or so, do stretch your legs, have a little bit of a dance, make yourself a drink, an uplift, a shake, water, coffee, whatever you need to do, come back. And we'll do half hour or so of high paying activities and get some messages out and build your business in a way that is really fun. So I'll see you all in a bit. Lots of love always, and we will catch up soon.